So good.
Who are the Paladins of the Realm? A ragtag bunch of Overwatch clones, an unoriginal group of bland characters with obviously pandering, assets? Or maybe, just maybe, they're some of the most colorful, unique, and fun-to-play characters in the genre of multiplayer shooters. Now, I can admit, when I first saw this game, I, like just about everyone else, assumed it was an absolutely shameless Overwatch clone. However, after actually playing the game for quite a while now, I think it's fair to say that these games are very different from one another. Sure, they may have a couple characters with similar abilities, and they may use the same objectives for game modes, but despite these similarities, Paladins does a surprisingly amazing job in creating and maintaining its own unique sense of team-based gameplay. To those of you who've never played this game, let me give you a quick rundown. Paladins is a free-to-play team-based shooter where two teams comprised of 5 players fill various traditional game roles, all in order to accomplish victories in 3 classic match formats. That's essentially it, and I know what you might be thinking. However, where Paladins truly distinguishes itself from Overwatch and the other games it's often compared to, and in my opinion why it's more fun, lies in the tiny details that fundamentally form the consistent core gameplay experience. And when I say it's the little things that make this game good, I mean it. For example, in this game, one of the key differences can be seen in the arena of health regeneration. In Paladins, if you stay out of combat long enough, your player will begin to heal themselves slowly by themselves. Simple, right? Well, I can agree this is a subtle change, just take a look at the ramifications it has on every single player's gameplay experience. It essentially means you don't have to wait for a support to come heal you, or for some health capsule to pop up somewhere. This in turn means you spend way less time looking for heals or just flat out being dead, and more time in the pulse of the action. I can't count the amount of times I've played Overwatch, taken a couple shots, and then be forced to run and hide until my support can heal me or I can find a health drop. Look, I'm not trying to say Overwatch is a bad game, but I flat out don't have to deal with this problem when I play Paladins. Instead, I get to engage in fast-paced combat, then make a slight strategic retreat while my team provides covering fire and draws attention. After about 10 seconds or so, I'm back at full health, dashing straight into the fray of pure multiplayer bliss. This game is filled with these tiny little differences that truly help to form a surprisingly different gameplay experience. However, in truth, it's not just the little things that I love about this game. On the surface, it may just look like another average fantasy-based shooter, but underneath its seemingly simplistic gameplay lies a level of complexity that truly rewards players and offers them dozens of customizable features. For example, each champion on the roster has access to a deck of cards. Hey, get the hell out of here, Geralt, shoot! But these champion cards aren't just a part of some minigame. Instead, they're a method by which players can radically customize a champion to their own specific liking and playstyle. Card decks are made up of 5 out of 20 available cards, with these cards having various different effects meant to power up different abilities or attributes. Some are as simple as giving a champion a couple extra bullets in the chamber, and some unlock brand new abilities all on their own. These decks add an addictive level of customization to the multiplayer format. The replayability of various different loadouts and builds dwarfs what so many other competitors have to offer. And admittedly, it's hard to articulate just how good it feels to find a loadout that works specifically well with the way you play your favorite characters. And this is just the tip of the iceberg as far as customization is concerned. See, each champion has access to 4 unique moves, and at the start of every match, each player selects one of 3 distinct abilities. These abilities, more often than not, fundamentally change the way a champion is played. Then, as the game progresses and objectives are reached, players unlock in-game credits that can be used to purchase specific buffs that allow them to counter the champions they're playing against. Fighting against someone who can turn invisible? Easy, counter them by buying Illuminate. Fighting someone with deployable turrets or pets? Counter them with Bulldozer. Combo these in-game purchases with versatile card combos and specific talents, and the result is players having a tremendous amount of customization at their disposal. You could take your favorite support or tank and turn them into a damage god. Take your favorite damage and turn them into a flanker or a tank. Fuck, you could even take your favorite flank and turn them into a support if you really wanted to, you sick fuck. The whole point is that you, as the player, have the freedom to choose your playstyle and hone it down to your own specific preference. And with 46 characters and more on the way, you are bound to find a character that you not only like playing, but one that you're actually very good with. Each champion has a different rhythm, a different strategy, and a different dueling prowess, making each champion fit into a team like a puzzle piece, allowing players to have some absolutely amazing synergistic moments. And adding your own personal touch in the form of customization just helps to push gameplay to a new level. Now, while these features definitely enhance gameplay, there's one feature everyone glancing at these games seems to notice, and then laugh at, and that would be the mounts. I'm just gonna be straight with you right now. These mounts are fucking amazing. Sure, it may seem goofy to have mounts in a game that doesn't involve any real form of long-range travel, and I can admit, I thought these mounts were just a weak attempt by Evil Mojo to monetize another cosmetic in the form of mount skins, but after playing these games for months now, it's almost impossible for me to play other team-based games that lack them. Mounts in Paladins make getting to the action twice as fast, which keeps matches intense and the combat constant. These speedy little mounts make siege matches gridlocked contests where gutsy tanks and daring healers can prove their worth by holding off entire enemy teams long enough for reinforcements to arrive on the back of their trusty steeds. Now, whenever I play other multiplayer FPSs, the pacing of combat, death, respawning, and then re-entering combat just feels way off to me. Especially after I've played Paladins for a bit and gotten used to what I would consider to be vastly superior pacing. This not only means I spend less time strolling to the objective on my feet, but it also makes defending from a siege infinitely more challenging, as reinforcements arrive quicker than most comparable games and teams can reform and make 5-man assaults much quicker. But these mounts also present various strategic opportunities for the craftiest of players. For example, I've won some of the closest matches I've ever played because I had smart teammates who were able to shoot the enemies off their mounts before they were able to contest the point. So in short, mounts not only speed up the combat and gameplay of Paladins, but they also present interesting strategic opportunities. Which, if you're playing a competitive-based game, what else can you ask for? I would definitely agree with the dozens of people who've claimed that Paladins mounts are just a dumb feature forced into this game to create an arbitrary difference between Paladins and Overwatch if it was true, but it's not. The mounts genuinely add something great to Paladins, and if you've played this game, you'll get exactly what I mean. And even I can admit, I originally thought these mounts were only introduced so a greedy developer could make more money, but I've been proven completely wrong. Sure, Evil Mojo has monetized these mounts with various different skins, and sure, they might be milking Paladins for as long as they can, with Battle Pass after Battle Pass. And hell, I can even admit that their customer service kinda sucks, but I still wouldn't call them greedy. I mean, hell, I just bought this game a week ago, and before that I'd been playing the game for free for an entire year. And even when I did buy it, it was on sale for a third the price that it normally is. To me, the fact that I paid $9 for 46 champions almost feels criminal. After all, I've gotten more playtime out of these games than most of the games I spend $60 on. So Paladins is fun to play, having both small and major gameplay alterations that make it distinct. But what about its style? These videos almost always tend to put a massive focus on the style developers adopted to create their own immersive gameplay experience. And while Paladins doesn't have any cohesive story being told through gameplay, they do have a pretty fantastic aesthetic to their characters and their world. And there's a surprisingly vast lore hidden throughout the game's descriptions and video reveals. Crystal-powered technology in a magical fantasy setting might not be groundbreakingly new, but the execution is nearly flawless, with subtle bits of lore being weaved into character dialogue and interactions. On top of that, the basic designs for the Paladins and the agents of the Magistrate who oppose them are pretty damn solid, with some very creative character concepts being employed. Champions like Bomb King, the former weapon turned sentient king by a spell gone awry, or Atlas, the son of another champion Lex who's traveled through time to prevent a future apocalypse, come to mind. Seriously, some of these guys are really interesting, and I may delve into their lore in future videos because I feel like it's not very well covered. But while these vanilla designs and concepts are pretty great, the truth is, the best and most appealing aspect of this game's aesthetic lies solely in the arsenal of skins available for every champion in the game. Alright, it's bold claim time. Paladins has some of the best cosmetics available in any video game I have ever played, and ironically, most of them aren't just skin deep. Most of these suckers come with completely unique voice packs that change their in-game dialogue, breathing life into these skins and making them all the more satisfying when you finally snag the one you want. The range of these cosmetics cover everything from badass variants to the hilarious ones. Khan, for example, has skins that turn him into a death metal Chaos Space Marine. He also has skins that turn him into the living embodiment of the United States of America, equipped with a bolter adorned with a bald eagle curling a dumbbell and some of the most hilarious lines in the entire game.
I come in 3 sizes: large, extra large, and Big Daddy.
These skins are fantastic, however the best of the bunch arguably come from the times when developers took obvious inspiration from third-party franchises. Just take a look at this shit. Look, they got Star Wars skins, Gundam skins, an Evangelion Androxus, Team Fortress Barrack. Shit, they even got a Mando skin. Stuff like this makes me proud to be a nerd, and I will gladly support the geniuses who designed these skins if I can. To me, Paladins is a game that excels in almost every aspect of its execution. It's fun, it's cool, it's interesting, it's very replayable, and its developers are constantly providing new content and updates. And look, I'm not gonna sit here and say the game is perfect. I can fully acknowledge its flaws. Like how despite being released years ago, this game is still riddled with bugs and lacks the polish that many of its competitors have. I mean, shit, anybody who's played this game for more than 5 matches has more than likely encountered a T-pose glitch. But most of these bugs don't often directly hinder gameplay, at least most of them.
1. And so it begins.
What the fuck just happened? Holy shit.
Prepare for battle.
And while these things are annoying and certainly deserving of being fixed by developers, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because this game has just been such a blast to play. If you played Overwatch and maybe you're looking to support a company that isn't serving as a foreign agent to a country that openly flaunts concentration camps, it might be worth your time to try Paladins out. After all, Paladins got banned in China for being too provocative, and at over 400 hours of playtime, it's certainly been worth mine.